What is it, guys? Moon here, aka Ethan. I'm back for another episode of Seduce Me. And we just went to Kay's, or the Pink Lady Cafe, I think was what it's called. We went there, and then we didn't have time to go to the arcade, so and Suzu, I didn't know if she got upset, so Anyway, we came back here, we changed in this nice, wicked-ass dress, and our parents just came into the lobby, and now the party is in full swing, so I shook hands with many officials and executive members. Putting on the professional face my dad trained me to have, I felt overwhelmed, but I hid it well behind a small smile and handshake. Many even asked me questions. I tried my best to reply as maturely as possible. I had to remember, say what they want to hear, not what you want to say.
So, how do you feel living on your own at such a young age?
Oh, shit. It's been okay, I guess. It's been pretty good, actually. Could be better, to be honest. Well...
I'm so sorry about your grandfather.
Oh, fuck, I don't have it.
It really hit all of us hard.
Shit.
Do you have college plans?
I felt like the questions came up one after another. I don't know if that affected anything of me missing that first question, but that kind of caught me off guard. I didn't know there was a time limit. I felt like the questions came up one after another. It was tough to answer some, but tough to answer some of them because they weren't about me. They were about the company.
What do you think will happen with the company now that your grandfather has passed?
It will get back on
What do you
track
think of
soon.
the philanthropic policy the company has?
What the fuck?
Do you think the company should expand from just toys?
Eventually, the questions stopped, and I was back to being myself. Naomi and Susie were mingling in the crowds, and the incubi were doing their jobs. So I was all alone in the room, full of strangers. It was unnerving to think about, but at least I wasn't being questioned left and right anymore. Suddenly, though, my mom pushed her way through the crowd to me, bringing along someone I didn't know.
Honey, I'd like to introduce you to someone. This kind gentleman is the son of the vice chairman.
He looks like a dope, for real. With my mother stood a man who looked only a couple years older than me. He smiled and held out his hand to me, silently asking for my hand.
Hi, I'm Andrew Lewis. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Anderson.
As I placed my hand in his, he raised it to his lips and kissed over my knuckles. I felt my face burn slightly at the gesture. Andrew smiled at me before releasing my hand.
I'm honored to be invited here.
My mother smiled at the both of us, which made me slightly concerned. Why was she excited to introduce me to Andrew?
So, you organized this party very well, Miss Anderson.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Praise is very much deserved.
This is such a normie. This guy's a dope. Andrew then chuckled nervously, bringing a soft fist to his lips to cover his laugh properly before smiling at me.
I'm sorry if I seem a little forward. I've just been excited to meet Harold Anderson's granddaughter.
Uh-huh, why?
He used to talk about you all the time in the office on how you helped him refine his toys. I only attended meetings and heard all of the stories. You've helped a lot with the success of the company without having to actually work there.
Oh wow, I didn't know he talked about me. That would explain everyone's fascination with me and their rather personal questions. I looked at Andrew, who had a kind face to me. Something about him seemed off, and I didn't know what it was. He seemed to be hiding something, whether it was good or bad. I was not able to find out. I felt someone walk up beside me, causing me to turn to them. Next to me was my dad, giving his cold stare to Andrew, who suddenly became tense.
So, you're Jared's son.
Andrew's body twitched slightly, whether it was fear or insult, Andrew locked eyes with my father. I couldn't help but feel the tension between them. It irked me how fragile the air had become, enough to break it at the wrong word.
You're the one who wants to be the next CEO of the Anderson Company.
Well...
I stared at Andrew. This guy wanted to take my grandfather's place as CEO. I thought the vice chairman wanted the position.
David, leave the poor boy alone.
I'm merely testing the boy's conversational skills. Nothing wrong with that.
Of course not, sir.
And polite as well. Interesting.
If you'll excuse me.
Quickly, Andrew retreated away from my family into the crowd of people. Stay put. I watched as he disappeared into the crowd towards the back of the house. I was worried, but I gave him his space. He obviously needed it.
He's not CEO material.
That's because you practically interrogated the young man.
A little questioning shouldn't have bothered him. He's obviously not ready for any title in our company.
I bit my tongue, but I didn't want to make a scene with my dad. One wrong word and he'd lecture me in front of everyone. That was not something that I wanted to happen at a housewarming party. I let out a sigh before looking at the clock. It was getting close to midnight, meaning that the party was going to end soon. I lowered my gaze out of the window and saw a limo pull up. Huh? Whose limo is that?
Oh, that must be Lewis's car.
I'll go get him. Stay with your father so you can escort your guests out together.
Yes, Mom. My mother left my dad and me to slowly escort the guests out. My dad held his simple smile as he thanked each person for coming. I did the same. Andrew quickly passed the doors before I could speak. Eventually, only Suzu and Naomi, my parents, and the incubator were left. My dad suddenly walked over and placed his hand on my shoulder with a smile. I stared up at him, a wave of confusion washing over my face. What?
You did good tonight. I'm proud.
Oh, thank you, Dad.
Keep it up, and you'll be a good CEO.
Oh, right.
All right. Your mother and I have to leave. I'm sure Naomi and Suzu need to leave as well. Just because it's Saturday doesn't mean you should stay up all night.
Oh, right.
Thanks for having us. It was a great party. We'll come visit tomorrow or something.
Right, see ya.
Good night, sweetie. Come visit us soon.
Will do. All four of my remaining guests left the building. All but my dad waving back to me. With the last of the guests gone, I sighed and sat in the staircase exhausted. Phew, that was tiring.
It's not like you had to do any work, though.
Give her a break, man. She was getting interrogated left and right.
She handled herself the best she could.
As expected, Princess.
Since you're exhausted, why not head to bed? We can clean up.
Ugh. Hush, Sam.
Are you guys sure?
Positive. It shouldn't take long.
Ho ho ho! It didn't take long to find you little shits after all.
I felt a hot shudder run down my spine. The voice from my dreams echoed through his name is Malix, right? Echoed through the air into my ears. I looked around, panicked. Alongside the incubi, James placed a hand on my shoulder, trying to remain calm.
Don't worry. No one will hurt you.
Are you sure? Are you really sure?
All of us shot our heads towards the door, finally pinning down the direction of the voice. The doors quickly swung open, revealing a sight that I would never expect to see. Oh, he's a little demon boy. That's cool. With white hair. It's a nice character design. Just odd. Skin red as blood, eyes black and gold piercing into mine. Roughened up clothes and pistol in his hand. I saw a monster. Oh, and then a succubi, I assume. I covered my mouth to not scream at the sight. Dried blood covered his bandana around his neck as he smirked at me to the boys around me. Beside the red-skinned man was a similar-looking woman in matching thug-like clothes.
Aw, what's the matter, boys? You really didn't think I wouldn't find you, did you?
I hoped you would, you piece of...
All of a sudden, the man raised his gun at Sam's face and instantly pulled the trigger. Shit, Sam die? We all gasped in shock, instinctively expecting to see a bullet run through Sam's face, but...
What the fuck?
What?
What should have been a headshot ended with a loud, empty blank shot. The pistol echoed its empty shots as the man grew more and more pissed, pulling the trigger over and over in aggravation. Luckily for my ears, it became quieter after its first shot.
Why the fuck won't you work?
This place is protected.
What did you say, Shrimp?
This place has a seal, protecting it from hellborn magic.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
The man growled and threw his gun at Sam, who was able to dodge it in time. The pistol bounced off the ground a couple of times before sliding further away, hitting the wall on a final stop. As it stopped moving, the gun faded into a black flame that disappeared into the air.
The previous owner had this place protected by magic, Malix.
Malix, that was his name. His existence resonated in my memory from the dream I had. However, I looked at Matthew in the same confusion as Malix did. This place is protected by magic?
It would seem that your grandfather had some sort of protective barrier around this house. From the looks of it, it only disables hellborn magic.
Malix's face grew to that of extreme anger, his fist tightening as if it was crushing a stress ball.
Then what's stopping me from dragging your asses out and shooting you then?
Out of pure instinct, I stepped forward and placed myself between Malix and the boys. With no power, Malix wasn't going to fight. I took the chance to stand up to him instead of being powerless like I was in my dream. Leave them alone. Malix stared wide-eyed at my words. I could feel the boys do the same from behind me. Malix then smirked and leaned in nose to nose with me.
And just who the fuck are you?
None of your concern.
You got a big mouth, nameless bitch. You best be careful who you speak to.
Fuck. My hair and pull it back, forcing me to cry out and stare up at Malix. His eyes bored into mine as he crackled in my face.
Hey! Let her go!
Sam! Eric!
With a mere second, Sam had punched Malix square in the jaw, forcing him to let go of my hair. As I fell on my back, Eric caught me in his arms, gently pulling me away from Malix and back to his group.
Come on, Sam. You and me, right here. Let's go!
Come on, asswipe!
However, before both could fight, the woman stepped forward and placed a firm grip on Malix's shoulder.
That's enough, Malix.
What? Who do you think you're speaking to, woman?
The girl who's going to help you kill them. Just not now.
Not now?
I stared at the girl. Who spoke down at Malix. She looked the same, just like pure evil. However, she seemed to be concerned for Malix, or for me.
There's 5 of them and 2 of us. Even if we come back with the gang, they can have the place surrounded by human police.
Then we shoot everyone!
Think! If we shoot everyone, we'll be hunted. And it'll be a matter of time before makeshift paladins come and try to exorcise us.
The two growled at each other. If they could have used their magic, I could sense that fire would glow from underneath their teeth. Malix grunted and glared at the boys. He pointed at James, wanting so badly to use his finger like a knife.
Just wait, pretty boys. We'll get you and fuck you up real good.
Then Malix turned to me, moving his finger to point directly between my eyes.
And don't think you're safe. Step outside. I dare you.
With that, Malix and the woman walked out of the mansion. The doors closed behind them, leaving the boys and I alone once again. I felt my knees give out from under me, forcing the boys to quickly turn to catch me.
Whoa, whoa! Are you alright?
Yeah. Why was he here?
He's been closely tracking us. Our blood trail from the forest must have led him here.
We should have stopped him and finished it here.
For once, Matthew, I agree with you.
I stood up and rubbed my arms, feeling the goosebumps Malix left behind on me. I couldn't stop myself from shivering in fear of his words. Malix, was he a demon?
That son of a bitch is not a demon. He's a devil.
A devil? There's a difference.
Yes, Demons come from a different plane of existence called the abyssal planes. Devils, however, come from one of the 7 circles of a place humans know as hell. Despite us not being human, we are very different creatures.
We actually have brains, for one. Devils always like to cause trouble and try to kill or torture others for their own enjoyment. Demons, like us, know when to use our powers and when not to. We're not stupid.
Devils follow orders from higher-ups in their order, and their power only comes from their connection to hell. Demons all have free wills and don't rely on where they came from to use their powers.
This was all so confusing. Demons and devils, magic all existed, and I happened to land in the middle of it. What do we do?
You're safe. You've been protected as well.
What?
What Damien's saying is that the magic that protects this place also protects you.
Your grandfather must have cast it when you last saw him or something of that nature. We can sense its aura around your body.
I couldn't believe my ears. It was the 3rd day of surprises, and this one took the cake in being the most surprising. I felt my head spin once again. What did I get myself into?
Miss, please don't worry. We'll find a way to train ourselves and become stronger to finally finish this feud.
I'm gonna kick his ass right now!
Until then, we'll protect you as much as we can. If Malix comes back, we'll be here for you.
But what about going outside? Won't he?
Like we said, you have a protection spell on you. Even if Malix attacks you, he won't be able to use his magic on you. He'd be just like any other human you can fight back against.
Didn't you say you knew Taekwondo?
Well, yeah. I felt somewhat relieved that mostly safe for Malix. Still, I could not help but feel very nervous and apprehensive about the future. The boys were safe here to train and become stronger, but what if Malix did the same? Even more so, I was lost about how my grandfather knew about magic. I had to find out. At least, I had time. I went to bed that night, feeling nervous. Despite the words of the incubi, I felt like a target to something I'd never been able to explain or prove. Magic, devils, demons. How did this all even happen? Should I really meddle with the situation? They are only staying until after they defeat Malix. That's right. They said they'd only stay until after they defeated Malix. After that, my life could go back to normal. Temporary insanity, as Kay would say. The question was then, what would I want them to leave? If my life went back to normal, then I'd have to care for my house all on my own. I'd get to focus on my life instead of being distracted by the boys. I'd have to go. My life. Where was life going anyway? I was under pressure with my parents, with only my friends and the boys' comfort. Without the boys, I'd have no way to hide with my responsibilities. Enough. Let's sleep and deal with this tomorrow, when it comes. Defeating my sense of thought, I forced myself to sleep, unsure of what tomorrow had planned for me. Hopefully, whatever the future had for me, I would be ready for it.
I promise to be with you forever. You're so important to me.
I swear I'll give my life to you.
Please, let me love you.
I'll be by your side, always.
I can't imagine living without you.
I want to be with you.
I love you.
I slowly opened my eyes, letting the voices of my dream echo in my head and force me awake. I rubbed my eyes before sitting up and looking at my clock. 7 a.m. Why am I up so early? I fell back into the bed and closed my eyes, trying to go to sleep. However, something kept me awake. Why? Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Seduce Me. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't been to my channel before, and I will catch you guys all again in the next episode. This is actually getting very interesting plot-wise, and I'm actually very happy with the story. Yeah, so apparently we can actually romance. I guess we can romance Naomi. I don't know. I guess so. I guess that's what it was leaning toward. I think her secret actually is that she's like a lesbian or like bi or something, bisexual or something. But anyway, we can romance that. So I'm pretty happy. I'm gonna try to take that route. But I kind of want to romance Damien though. I don't know. It's weird. We'll figure it out though as we keep playing. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys all again in the next one. Bye.